who will know where we're at, or we're going to run into a town.
Okay, so you guys have each separately or as groups of two been walking the trail, and it's night, and there's these giant, maybe pillars sticking out of the ground, and a campsite, kind of a permanent campsite has been erected here where people are selling stew and other foodstuffs, and you know, to the people traveling the trail, you can stop and have dinner instead of a campsite being kind of like a safe area.
And everyone talks about it being the most beautiful
they're called the mouth of the cairns because these pillars start before you start getting into this area with these giant fingertip cairns sticking out of the earth, right? And there's, you know, trails going off in various directions up to these various, you know, sites of healing or mystical importance and things like that. So as you camp out, there are role-playing opportunities to interact with the people at the camp with you. Most of the people here are
left from these creatures all along the trail.
The camp is mostly peaceful, with a dozen travelers sharing the sleeping and cooking space. There is no light swarm this evening, but there are stars and glow globes and a little drink. So that light swarm is kind of what you're out here to try to identify or figure out what's going on, why it hasn't been happening so often. The weather in the lee of the structure is dry and passable. In the early evening, you hear some disgruntled talk about the lack of the light swarm, and a few whispered tales of the iron wind coming to the area. The iron wind is a nano cloud that just eats all flesh in its path.
This way,
but it's only when the conversation turns towards a recent rash of deaths in the mouth of the cairns that the group grows restless. So there's a small settlement right up against the cairns at the top of the hill that there's recently evidently been death. And an old man says, "Rumors!" Both palms of his are exploded, covered in arm-length tattoos. So he's clearly a peregrine that's been here for a long time. And he's like, there have been no deaths up there. It's not true. Then another young man says, "My mother saw it with her own eyes," and he makes this strange gesture with his hands that you guys know means that she's got, you know, bio-enhanced eyesight, and everyone kind of nods. She's sleeping in a tent nearby, and along the edge of a hollow makes the circle augmentation. She has mech eyes, and trust me, she sees everything. There is nervous laughter from the group. Most everyone has a mother, after all, and remembers her impossible eyesight, augmented or not. Likely not human at all, says a third traveler, and a fourth and fifth agree. So evidently there's some murders or some death going on in one of these cairns nearby. You're in this campsite.
So I'm 75%
Questions? Do you guys want to interact with the...
One question I have is, are we already with Zern King?
No, you guys are sitting at a campfire together.
Right,
the two of you know each other. The two of you are just sitting at a random campground.
You can trust me.
Okay. I want to make sure of that. Roy, why are we here?
So the light swarm just hasn't been happening lately.
Right, no light swarm, and then they're talking about some deaths up at the thing.
Yeah.
We're making dinner. We're sitting there.
So you guys start to take this track.
Are there people
you know,
there
and I
you said
assume
that
you guys have been.
There were like some people
wearing
who
armor.
dismissed it, some people seem more worried about it.
No.
Correct. The
Does anybody
peregrines...
look in charge?
Nice.
So you know that the length of one's tattoo or the complexity of one's tattoo would put you in a hierarchy within the peregrines, right? There's one guy that has tremendous tattoo. He thinks that the whole thing is nonsense.
So remember,
The other peregrines, many of them are novices.
that,
It looks like this may be their first time on the walk. They're just interested. They're listening to these stories with rapt attention, right? They're very interested in the young boy and his mom because it's not every day they meet someone with mech eyes, right? That's a neat thing. But no one at the campfire seems any more knowledgeable about what's going on than you guys necessarily.
For every point of damage you take,
I'll
every time
approach
you
the,
take damage, you're going to decrease it by
peregrine.
1 point.
Mm-hmm.
So if you
all of
take
that
3,
does-
you would only take 2 points of damage.
say,
It decreases your speed, the amount
You
of
lose 2
resource.
speed as long as you wear the armor.
You know-
and every hour you wear the armor, you lose
You
1
could-
height.
Oh.
Now,
you
over the course
could
of the day,
prove that there's nothing going on up there. If you sent,
one of their choices is
you sent the
one
capable,
and I have it.
Yeah, so are you going to wear
fellows such as ourselves
No?
up there to investigate and bring back the straight story.
Rumors from up there have been as old as I've been on the trail. They started long ago, and when, you know, there was some talk of a magical power that allowed people to communicate with the dead. This is utter rubbish. We all know that once someone is dead, they can't be communicated with. And once these ghost stories started, they've been perpetuated along the walk ever since. There's nothing to that at all.
This packed and the sun's beating
With all
high
the
overhead,
fantastic
and it's
things
very
you've
dry.
seen in the world, you
And,
can't
you know,
imagine
you're
that would be
kind of
possible.
running
Humbug,
through
no.
the amount of
No,
water
absolutely.
you
Once the
have.
spirit dies, there's
But
no way
sure
to communicate
enough,
with it.
In the distance,
Bro, he's never been like
you
past
see
the walk
something.
that.
You see a little
This
bit of
guy's.
smoke, but it is
Look
way
at
off.
the young kid who's
Yes.
in the distance.
What'd your mom see?
You're actually a little bit elevated.
When we were
above
coming down
this
from our
camp.
mission, we had been up there for almost
Or
2
the
years,
smoke,
and she was able to
wherever it's
see the
coming
town,
from.
and it looked like
But
it was in
it
complete
still
disarray.
looks
It
to
looked
be
like
a
the
good
citizens were
mile
fighting amongst
away,
themselves.
but it
The
does
town
look
guard
like
appeared to
the
be
wandering
slaughtering people in the
walk
streets.
is
We hightailed it out of there.
traveling in that direction.
We were going to stop for the night.
And everything that
We
you
avoided
see a
it like
mile
the
away.
plague. It was crazy.
Some
Buildings were on
spectacle.
fire.
Mark one eyeball.
Looked like a bomb had gone off in the center square.
And
I had a
then,
cat, so I just lets me see
look,
the dark.
and then turn it from him to the old to the older
Yeah,
character.
it's right now.
And you
it's-
haven't gone
it's
up there to see that?
3 o'clock,
Ah,
2 o'clock.
rumors and
So,
myths,
I-
nothing
I
more.
know
If there was
some
smoke, we would
ciphers
see
that
it from
people
here.
like
Clearly, nothing's
telescopic
happening.
vision. I didn't know if
How far away is the
someone
town?
had any of that.
From where you are, where they're describing is maybe a half day's walk. It's not far at all. This young man and his
Yeah,
mom
you
could have
guys
clearly
are-
been up there this
You're
afternoon.
gonna walk
Actually,
up.
I would do it.
Can I use my sense?
See, we check that out. Curiosity has
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
And you're not-
absolutely.
Alright, so I'm
Curious one bit.
I would sneak up.
So if we can, how about
I
this?
have been on this walk for years.
And if we can prove it,
14.
Prove that there's a city in disarray and a riot has broken out?
if we prove something, if we
And you
prove that
take a
something's going up there,
big
what
If you
what's
could
it
dispel the
for your
ghost
nose
stories,
to
and you
try
could
to
prove once and
sense
for all that
if
there
there's
were no
anything- and
speak
it-
with dead
it doesn't
machines
seem
up in the
like
hills,
any
that would
type of
clearly
magic.
be in
It
our
actually,
interest because we
you know,
want to keep this a
you're-
peaceful valley, and these rumors
Yeah, yeah.
constantly
You don't-
create
you know, you're only
conflict
getting a
and
few
confusion
grain,
among the
grains
followers.
of
So
particle
then,
from
if
there,
there
but
is a
you're
speak
like,
with the dead
okay,
machine,
yeah, they're burning
we can
dung.
have it.
That's why it's.
There's no
dung.
such thing.
But if there is, we can have it.
Well, I don't want it. Of course you could have it.
Okay, so we can have it.
It's a myth,
Just make
though.
that sure.
globe of dripping.
Contract says.
Yes, absolutely. And if it put an end to these rumors, it would be
So
better.
put the end of the rumor.
Perfect.
It's like the
Fine.
it's like the little perfume bottle
Alright.
I used to carry.
It's like a syringe.
So the town is different than the cairn.
Yeah, it's at the base of
I don't
the.
feel
So
like
the
fighting.
That's
the town is at the
actually
base
perfect.
of the
Yeah, you
cliff that
clear
kind
it
of goes
out.
up to the
Yeah.
cairn.
You let them know.
Right,
that,
you guys are
know,
kind of in a
you
don't
Right.
sense
you're walking along a
anything
hilly
magical
area.
coming from
There's
the smoke.
some cliffs kind of
You
off to
know,
the side.
it
There's other
just-
towns
it-
and
yeah,
communities that have grown up within a half day's walk as well.
That
This
is
is
very much
Well, if you're interested,
what it pictures.
we'll-
But for herders to
Because
be on the
keep
Great
what we can
Wall,
find. You heard
you
it,
know,
I heard.
might be.
I heard it.
All right.
a
Well, I'll
little
say within
odd
You could actually give me an
from your
insight check,
knowledge,
which will be an
but,
intelligence
you know,
check.
Maybe there are sections where
Well,
they
see,
use
yeah,
it.
he's-
Again,
Well, we
no
don't
one
roll
knows
against
what
our intelligence,
stars
we just
are
roll in if we.
But I've got a
trained
DC in my
it.
head.
All right, because
Okay.
lies,
Peregrines
tricks,
are the
deceive.
ones
This guy has all that.
Drift-
12.
I was in the same spot.
And then
Not
he's
really sure.
16 with a bunch of training.
But you're going up to the
Okay,
camp.
so with a 16 and with a 12 probably as well, it does appear that this guy's being a little shifty. Like compared to most of these guys that talk, it looks like he may be hiding something from you guys,
Well,
or
that's what I was
Didn't
trying to
wanna
get because
stay on
this
the trail.
guy's
It's
perception
pretty
and lies.
open
Yeah,
outside
he's
of the trail
definitely-
as well. There's
he's
not
kind of
much
talking loud
shrubs
enough so the
there.
rest of the camp hears him, so that he's kind of carrying the party line, that kind of stuff.
Like Sahara Desert or like
That's why
More
you
like
go there.
Joshua
Yeah.
Tree, high desert with some rocks and
Well-
boulders and
shrubs and
exactly, but not a lot. Not a
My
lot of
character's
trees at all.
not good with
So you're kind of
with
stealthily.
being
I would just
charming.
try and stay behind rocks. And
Anyone
Okay.
going with him?
So
Or are you
he'll-
guys
I'm
heading?
trying to come up with the wrong thing for him to say.
Yeah, I'll scout it out.
Okay.
This guy looks
Go
elderly,
ahead.
but
Give
what
me a
kind
roll.
of power does he have in this society? Oh, he's already offering deals and stuff like that.
Right, as a senior Peregrine, he would have respect
Yeah,
from most
I
of the
only had
people on
it
this
as a
trail.
six,
Like
so-
most of the
Yeah,
people
yeah,
with
so
small
great.
one-time tattoos see him as like an elder statesman or someone that's very knowledgeable in the area. If they would look, where should we go to see this? He would give them directions and that kind of stuff.
He's got the answers.
Just
Right, and he probably knows a lot of people in the area. There's people that
yeah,
live
you
on
kinda
this
go
walk.
up there.
And they spend their whole lives here, so
You're
he's probably
close enough
connected to a lot of the
know
communities
that
and
these-
stuff.
These people, they are all wearing robes, and they're kind of sitting around this fire.
Oh.
There's a
Give me a
few
minute.
tents.
Give me a minute. Give me a minute.
And they're not permanent tents.
So then-
by any
then
means. They're
Does
just
this guy ever
makeshift
get up or
tents
leave
that
like he
are
has to
set
go
up.
fetch a pail of
But
water
they
or
do
something?
just
or-
look
No,
like
he's sitting at the
nobles.
campfire.
They
He
don't
hasn't stood up
Then I
for
You
just
know,
come
you
over
don't
to him
see
kinda lean close.
weapons on
Right.
them or anything of of that sort.
I can tell
you know,
there's
you're
something.
trying to catch the gleam.
No,
of
no,
metal
you don't
or
need to say
something along
anything.
that
Right.
line. And you don't really
But what's
see
it
it
worth to
other
even
than
spend
maybe a
out
few
there?
pieces of
And I'll-
equipment that you know, like a cooking pan.
Well, you sound very much like Zern, this man here who has a lot of questions about the lights that have not been occurring
I have
recently.
no questions about that. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter to me. What matters to me is
Yes, they
whatever's
are.
up there. Cut me in on it. And what other matters to me is if you need some people not believing some rumors,
And I'm wearing like
Get it
red
done.
robe.
Right,
gold trim.
right. Well, rumors along the walk are everywhere.
Right.
Like sand on the path.
right? And it's bad for business.
Like,
So what's it worth? I
Nice.
mean, cut me in.
which is always blowing in the
We'll
wind.
come down off a mountain high
You're
over
done
there and
shooting
tell
at
everyone
a
how
cartoon.
you know? Mama's crazy.
Well, perhaps we should talk to her in the morning and see what she actually saw, because this young man may be exaggerating her story.
So you guys head into camp.
I know it.
can.
This young man has
So the camp
questions
is
about the
mostly
lack of
peaceful
lights, and I
with
was just
about a
explaining
dozen
to him that
travelers
when I was a
sharing
youth, the
sleeping
lights
and
hadn't
cooking
appeared for
space.
25 years.
You know,
Yes.
And the recent
obviously,
appearance of the light has been a great boon to the economy and a fantastic
the stars
display
are
of the
just
power of
starting to
nature
come
and
out.
God.
It kind of has that snow
fact, we
globe
were
effect because
talking
it's
among
bent.
Kane and I
You're
were
just kind of
talking
looking
amongst,
at it and you're walking up, and that's
thinking of
actually
venturing there
what
to see
they're
what-
staring at as you walk into camp.
what
Kane?
the cause, yes. Zern.
Zern? Miles, nice to meet
It
you.
almost looks like you're not sure.
Nice
if
to
it's
meet you there,
heat
Kate.
or
What do you
anything
guys do?
like that. But
I'm sorry, I don't have
it's
to be rude, but
definitely
I'm just
kind of
wondering
like-
if you guys
they're
are
all
heading
just
up there.
sitting there
I mean,
staring. They're not
travelers,
really
I
paying attention to you.
have a
guys
great
as you walk
respect
up
for the
until one of
Peregrine
them
and,
turns around
just
and
investigating
he
with
he
the
looks
lights.
old boy over here looks like he can handle
specifically.
himself.
You kind of seem
Yes,
to
we've been on the
blend in
walk
and
for
stuff.
some
How do
time,
you
and
look?
he's proven that he can handle himself.
Well, I got like Mr.
Robes.
Know-It-All here, so.
Perhaps we should make
No armor,
an
right?
expedition of it.
What's your clothing like?
Well, we'll link up in the morning. Let's,
Yeah, and it is getting late. The fires are going down. Everyone kind of goes to their tent. Late in the night, talk of odd wounds and dead bodies leaves everyone chilled despite the soft air. And the discussion finds many in the circle walk away after their usual hours. So as you guys start talking about this stuff, people start kind of spreading rumors, and people are kind of getting freaked out. Still, at the end, everyone sleeps as they must, and there are not a few find themselves surprised to wake in the morning whole and unharmed.
So we've got Han Solo, Luke Skywalker,
Which is something
and then-
delicious in the opening eyes. As you're breaking camp, there is the sound of hooves in the distance. From far away, perhaps the sound of an army, a huge number of creatures making their way towards this hollow. Although there is no light, no sight of any such thing, not even from the augmented eyes of the mother. Eventually, however, she makes out that it's just one creature, a scuddy morph, coming across the sands from the direction of the false woods at a superb pace, carrying at least 2 riders. There's a low murmur from the group of the news. Herds of scudomorphs fill the false woods at the northern edge of the 5th stretch, wrapping their segmented bodies around the heat-conducting trunks. No one ever rides these creatures. What do you see, Mother? So the mom starts freaking out. She says there's this huge scuddy-morph running towards the camp. You guys can't see anything yet. You can hear thundering.
You guys
Scuddy
head
morph is like a
up into this
ginormous
camp,
millipede.
They turn around and they greet you, and
They wrap themselves
very
around power
humble,
ducts and stuff
they're
like that,
willing
giant
to
power
share
ducts, and
some
absorb the
shit
energy.
that they've been
They
brewing
often
with
sometimes exude a kind of
one of the older people
gooey material.
So this is
It helps them
camp
cling to
sort
it.
of
Yeah,
get-
people are freaking out. People are grabbing their packs and running. The Peregrine that you were speaking to last night appears to have disappeared. The mom with the eyes is getting her son, and they're starting to get ready to run. But you guys haven't actually seen it yet. You can just hear the ground thundering.
The power from the zoo.
It's time to go.
Yeah, I grabbed my gear. and my
Right there.
yeah, let's
He's like,
exit stage left.
I don't know if he.
As you go at an amazing speed, faster than you can imagine, you're actually able to see this ginormous beast come charging towards your camp, and it looks like there's 2 kids wandering, sitting on its back.
He's like,
A young girl, perhaps 12, 14 years of age, and an older young man. They almost look like twins. He looks badly bruised and beaten, like he's been hurting. She looks kind of dazed and stunned as she rides on the back of this creature, which comes to a screeching halt in the middle of your camp.
He stops.
Yeah. The Scuddy Morph appears
and he makes this
mind controlled,
sign.
dazed,
He's
bewildered.
like,
It
"She
appears
saw it
like
with
it's
her
taking some kind of
own
orders, and
eyes."
maybe some kind of
And he
mental
does
link is
this
going
sign,
on.
and you guys know that it's kinda
The
like
camp
some
is in disarray.
derogatory
People are
term
freaking
of,
out in
like,
panic. The boy
she
jumps
has
off
mechanical
and
eyes.
says, "Aid! We need aid
Her
immediately!"
eyes
And he's
are
almost collapsing. He's
actually
taking so much
mechanical.
pain. The girl is still
He's like-
sitting on the back of the Scudomorph.
What happened to you?
The false woods were attacked.
So trust
Our
me,
camp, our
it will
parents are in
become-
dread danger. We need immediate assistance up there.
And
Something
then
horrible's
another
occurred.
Attacked
one
by
of the
what?
travelers just
Some kind of
sits there
giant
as
floating
this
creature with
forlorn
blades.
look
It came tearing
He
through the
looks
netting
down
and almost
he
killed
goes, "I
everyone.
don't know
My mother and
if we
father
should
are
be
cowering.
witnessing this."
I was able to grab this creature and ride because of my
Something
sister's
puts
unique
me,
abilities.
And all the others kind of nod when he says that and show this.
Is anybody running to
I
give
don't
him
know.
aid to like help
We've
out?
got
the
something
little-
else.
No, everyone looks terrified and is backing away.
Let's say
Wonders
like
like this fill the world.
and then through the woods
Not
and
always.
chopping people down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there water in your boat or something?
Yeah,
Give him this-
yeah, you
I
definitely-
go over with like
Okay,
a
so you
canteen or
start
something.
Okay. Yeah, as you're administering first aid to him, you notice the sister starts to pass out. And she's
Okay.
like collapsing.
It's good to be
As she starts to like
positive,
become
but
faint
too
or
many
dazed, it
things
looks like the
that
Scuddy morph is starting to
happen
get agitated.
for this to be-
I will say to the boy, does she need to stay awake for this thing to?
I think so. I've never seen her anyone do what she's done with that Scuddamorph. I didn't even know it was within her powers. Lately, she's been speaking in tongues and all sorts of bizarre things have been occurring.
All right.
But suddenly she was able to control this thing and ride us to safety during the attack. Very unusual. I've never seen her do this before.
Yeah, I kind of asked the boy to like take cover behind.
Yeah.
He kind of looks at you. He
And
goes,
how high up is she on this?
The creature's about
All the
4 meters
animals
tall,
have
so
been
she's
testing
very high.
strange.
You know, she's up high. You would have to kind of scale up there or have her drop down to
and
come to
no
you.
one knows why.
Just give me a boost.
This
All right.
So I'll scan.
I got trained
I'll scan it.
side.
It costs 2, but if I spend an edge, it costs 1.
Okay.
So I'll scan her and it.
And what kind of scan is
The
this? I'm sorry.
scan tells me like the level,
Okay.
level of creature, and I think it tells me if things are hidden.
And they all kind of laugh at that. They're like,
And
"You are an optimist. You are an optimist."
I don't know if
And
it tells me
you get over to
conditions
the
or not.
mom, and she kind of turns.
But if
she's
it-
very,
hoping it does.
very old,
Okay.
but she has these mechanical eyes, and
Have to go
all
up
the
to-
skin around her mechanical eyes are just so saggy that there's actually like.
There we
It
go.
almost looks like you could reach in a finger gap into these mechanical eyes. And she looks at you
scan.
and just kind of points, and you hear this.
Scan an area equal to 10 foot
As if
cube.
something's
Okay.
All
focusing.
objects and creatures with an area. The area must be short distance. Scanning an area always reveals its level. Scan
Okay.
a creature or object
She just
always
kind of
its
sits
level.
there. There's a long, kind of
Also, when whatever facts the
pause.
GM feels are pertinent
And then
about
she
the matter
goes-
and energy in that area.
Gotcha.
It is.
And the rest is suggestions for you.
Gotcha. Make a roll.
Is this the meat one?
No one
Meat
knows.
one? The
5.
pizza?
Okay, it's pretty obvious. The Scuddamorph is third level creature, and it's being controlled by her.
Okay.
It would ordinarily not behave this way. It would normally attack you immediately. Somehow she has a mind link with it. When you turn over to try to study her mind link, whatever's going on,
She goes,
she's dead.
it comes
Like
from
there's
underneath.
no, like it's the same kind of energy you get when a creature's died.
Feel it.
And she's clearly not dead. So it's a strange reading. You've never gotten a reading like this
That
before.
you
Something's
hear
wrong.
another, like,
The dead reading you get kind of flips on and off. Like 1 minute she's there and then she's not, and it's like, you know, you're kind of turning your attention and trying to focus in on her. There's something definitely unusual about where she is.
like along the ground.
Her level is very indeterminate, right? It's like she's level 0, and then
What's your
she's
scan?
level 6, and then she's level 0. Like there's this
It's a 10-foot cube.
surging, fluctuating power level.
Yeah. It's like you can,
I'm just going
there's like
to
a room or a box
make
on here,
an
sort of like
assumption.
use your nano powers
And
to
I'm saying
figure out
you?
if it's dangerous.
I think she's losing it. We better take down that beast before it takes us down. Or she loses control.
Catch brother.
Okay.
Well, one other piece of wisdom: the forest that they claim to have escaped from, maybe a 2 or 3 hour walk. It's a farming community. A lot of tubes and trees and stuff. You've never actually been there, but you know that it's there's not real. They're farmers. It's not a big industrial complex. It's nothing. It's a simple community of farmers. You had actually heard that there wasn't anyone living there anymore. Recently, you were thinking, okay, we can go out and try some stuff out there, but there wasn't anything out there.
Right.
So deserted farm community kind of places where they're claiming they're from. Interesting observation that you make is you've become very interested in the robes and the colored dyes that these people are using. They are not dyed at all. They're wearing traditional natural fabrics that haven't been colored by these areas, which is unusual.
+1,
Oh, that's
+2,
the
+3,
minor and the
+4.
major.
Minor and major is 19 and 20.
I'm sorry, I interrupted.
And this would
Can I ask
just
the brother
have
real
been
quick
like a
what her
+2
name
to
is?
damage if you were.
With the sister.
Yes, her name is Sarah. Sierra.
Yeah.
Saria.
You start focusing,
Let's call her Sarah because that's a name.
So they're up there.
And his name is Patel.
And you're doing a reading, and he always likes to look at the lights flash, but has no idea what it means.
stench of death.
Because he always can gauge your
It
reaction.
is-
Good,
It
bad,
is
otherwise.
So you're like,
Weird.
how
So
did I not
so
smell
fun.
this?
Yeah, yeah.
Before
Alright,
it's
yeah.
so overpowering. It
Climb up,
turns
try to
your
climb up and
stomach
get the girl.
almost
All right, so
instant.
quick climb roll.
Can I boost him?
But
Absolutely. That'll lower it one step.
She goes down, power goes down,
and then it
comes
just
up.
dissipates once
A 9.
once you relinquish
A 9,
your,
so that's a 3. Yeah, so you're able to get up there, no problem.
Okay, I'll try to.
You gotta be careful. I think she comes off of there and I think it's gonna go nuts.
Okay.
So she seems like she's fading into
I move
unconsciousness.
about 50 feet
The-
away.
One thing that's interesting is when Patel came off, he looked scarred and beaten and damp, like he'd been in a fight,
So-
right? He's bleeding,
You guys,
She
know,
doesn't look
are you
hurt at
going
all.
to share the camp
but she's
with them?
like
or-
losing
I'm
consciousness.
cooking whenever.
Chip and pulse.
Okay.
Does the creature react as I'm like putting my
It's getting fidgety, furtive, unhappy.
Remember, I'm 50 feet away.
You're backing away with the rest of the camp. I mean, most of the camp is backed away.
He's backing up. He's backing up like hand on blade, and then he's looking for the brother.
Right.
Is he still standing right there?
Peregrine.
Right.
Pilgrim
So that's
trying to look
a
at
spot
that,
check.
and
You're doing
like,
I don't know what kind of roll that would be. I need a perception check.
Yeah, and that's
What kind of perception?
an edge away from you.
It's an intellect check.
Yeah,
Okay, so
intellect.
give me an intellect check.
So you guys
Only
are
7.
camping.
Right. You
throughout
don't
the
spot him,
night,
but
and then
there's disruptions. People are running and hiding and trying to get
late
away.
into the
So
night,
um,
there's
you could probably take another action and look a little bit closer and see if you could spot him. It's something you could probably find him.
Yeah, 'cause I am. I wanna find-
Okay. Got
And
it.
the
Got it.
discussion finds
So you're up on the back of the
of the
creature.
circle
Yeah,
that
yeah.
You guys
I'll try
are
to-
around, awake.
I don't know. I
long
guess I'll try to
after
wake
their
her up if
usual
I
Okay.
can.
hours.
Yeah, not
slap.
slap her, but just kind
Still,
of
in the end, everyone
caress
sleeps
her and
as
they-
they
As
must.
as
okay, it's
as you
There are
grab
not a
her,
few
Yeah.
who
you
find
make this
themselves
very
surprised to be
weird
awake
mind
in the
link.
morning,
Okay.
cold
Okay,
and unharmed.
and I don't know if your character's had much experience with mind links, but you're not necessarily. So you grab her and you see through her eyes.
Okay.
You see her controlling the beast, and you're like, okay, and then boom, you get a new mind link, the like of which you incredibly powerful and disorienting, right?
The realization
Panic,
gives the
paranoia,
morning's activities a
disorientation,
boisterous and camaraderie,
rage,
camaraderie.
fear
Okay.
is what you feel.
And as you're breaking,
You get a sense of the
there's a
Carns being
sound
close
of
by,
hooves in the
Okay.
distance.
and then that breaks. You're connected to her again, and then you want to let
All
go.
right. Yeah, I reeled back.
It almost
As you let go,
sounds
she
as if
falls
it's an
off the other
army.
side of the creature.
Okay.
Huge
No, she'll fall in your direction. You may
number
try to
of
catch
people
her.
making their way toward the house.
Absolutely.
Although there
So
is
give me a
no
might check
such
to see if you
a
catch
thing
the
in
falling
sight.
Sarah.
Not even from the augmented
If
eyes of
it's
the
an edge,
mother.
can I spend it for free?
Absolutely.
Eventually, however, she makes out
Yeah,
that
no
it is
problem.
actually
You catch her.
just
She's
one
unconscious.
Okay.
But as she loses contact with the creature, Roy's worst nightmare comes true, right? And the beast just turns and just maws into this innocent bystander standing next by. Just two pinchers right through him and rips him apart. Goo, like a strange goo, is attached to him as it flies apart.
No,
Right,
they
so
are legs.
it's got a
just
weird
sounds
attack in
very,
which
very
it
loud.
tears things apart and then
There's
covers them with
low
a
murmur
goo,
from the group
slimy,
about
spider-webby
That's
kind
when
of
Miles
goo.
looks back at Roy and goes,
Yeah. So now we're gonna roll
They
initiative.
start talking about these herds
initiative is a D20.
A D20.
that are in something called the Lost
Oh, I got a 20.
Forest.
I decided
Is that good?
I decided to watch.
Well, so there's different ways of doing initiative. The simplest way
This
is
thing is about
if anybody in the party is
about
higher
12
than
to 13
the NPC, the party goes first.
yeah, it's big.
Oh, so the
Yeah,
creature got an
it's-
18.
Yeah.
And as it gets
watching.
closer and closer, and everyone
rolled a
starts
20.
like
I got a 3.
trying to gather
You got
up
a
their
20?
materials,
All right, so you'll act first,
the mother
I'm back down on
says,
2.
and you're 2.
15.
So he'll go, then the creature will go, then you guys will go.
Sounds good. I'm just trying
Alright,
to get
so-
off.
Yeah, you're sitting
No
on the
one.
creature. It's enraged.
Okay. Sorry.
Grab the reins.
and the
There's no real
the-
range. She was
Yeah, right.
kind
The
of
body
like,
goes,
It
are
just
you
starts beating
sure,
it.
mother?
you seem to be in a good place to hit it. Though.
Yeah, yeah. Them deciding whether or not I should
Just
do that.
says yes.
Yeah, why not? I'll get my spear out and
And
channel electricity. Yeah, I'll do electricity spear
This-
on it.
this creature is
All right, so
probably
what do I need to
right
do?
now about 150
Is that a
yards
medium
away.
spear
You
or-
can see
or
it
Yeah,
light
it's
clear as
medium,
day
so I
now.
get the
And
penalty
Yeah,
to
you
that,
got
right?
it. Yes, you roll a d20
Okay.
first,
Okay.
Someone is on top,
9.
maybe even 2 people.
and you've got it. It's a
Third level creature.
third level, so its DC is 9.
Right, but I'm going to give him advantage because he's sitting on its back, so its DC is 6.
Okay. And,
I'm
So you hit.
I'm
So I
trying to
hit.
scout.
Yeah, and it's a pretty easy creature to hit, but it has a lot of armor.
Okay.
Right? It looks chitinous plates kind of
And
thing.
it's
You're getting on a large rock.
Yeah.
You're going
So it does
behind
4
the
points.
4 points?
I have the enabled
Okay.
shock.
What are you doing?
Enabler shock, so it's +1.
So he takes 5 points of damage. Okay. That looks to really. I mean, you've harmed it badly, right?
Okay.
It looks like it generally relies on its armor to protect it, but because of your position, you were able to spike right through the armor. So you've done significant damage to the creature. The creature then goes. You're standing right next to it, so it's going to turn and attack you. Oh, you roll. You make a dex save.
Okay.
17 is really good.
You try to dodge its attack.
So is it a speed defense?
I'm at 12.
Correct. Speed defense.
I have a shield, so does that help? But I am holding her, so I have to say,
Yeah.
never mind the shield.
you roll a defensive check.
Yes.
to avoid these
So I'll use my edge for speed then.
Okay.
And here's kind of where the
So,
camp
11.
was.
So his to hit is a 9.
There you go.
So you rolled over that and he
So,
misses
yeah,
you.
Okay.
So
these rocks,
This is
these
not
things
good,
are
right?
about
2
10
giant tendrils,
to
like
15
longsword
feet
length, just slash right over you, and you drop down and just barely miss being rend. I mean, it looks
Okay.
like if these things hit you, you would die. I mean,
Okay.
it does not
You
look
guys
like
go
an
ahead
easy
and
hit.
pick your.
So the creature's attacked, and now it's the rest of the party's turn.
I'll do a mental onslaught.
Okay.
Which will bypass his armor. Got a 16.
16 hits easily.
So I do 2 damage.
2 damages?
With no armor.
Got it? Yeah, and it looks furious now. It's gone into a rage. It's starting to thrash. It looks like it's near death. It very much not expected to have taken this much damage so quickly.
Well, I just grab my broadsword and take the flying leap at it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Finish it.
14.
14's a
There
hit.
you go.
And that's 4 with, I'll burn the mic for
Yeah, something like that. Like
5.
with the head
5
that's
points
like
of damage.
big and-
It's still alive, but it very much looks. I mean,
you
at this point, the antennas are
Go ahead and put
drooping.
yourself where
You know,
you
and
guys
it
want
looks
to
like
be.
it's maybe just going to try to escape or something.
It's
It looks
actually
like
coming from
the
this
fight's gone out of it.
So from the giant
Okay.
snake.
Yeah, and you guys kind of came
That's
over
round
here,
1.
And you're like,
Round 2, you're still on its back.
Same thing.
Okay.
okay.
Be at peace.
And are you joining him?
Hit. But this time you seem to have hit a plate. You weren't able to sneak your sword right through there.
Okay.
Oh,
So it's 4 damage +1 for the shock.
Guy with the
5.
white robes holding a
5 damage.
Oh, there-
Yeah, it looks like, strangely enough, the armor takes most of that damage.
Okay.
there we
Okay.
go. I thought.
And you did 5 to it with the broadsword. Yeah. Again, when you slash at it, the chitinous plates look very thick and difficult to penetrate. It doesn't look like you actually scored a tremendous. You could have killed it, I think, but the armor
No,
got in the
but yeah,
way.
it did. I felt some.
Yeah, you got goo. You got goo.
No, wait.
Felt some resistance.
Its turn. You're very hard to hit. It doesn't. It's an angry beast, so it's just going to attack. Well, actually, it's going to attack both of you. It's attacking everything within 5, right? Because it's thrashing and flailing. So this will be an attack against you. You roll your defense save. That habit will never leave me, will it?
Yeah, I know.
16. So you're able to dodge easily.
So do you
Duck out of its attack.
keep spinning the edge like for a new round, or how
Yeah,
often do you get
can
back?
use it
Correct.
once per round.
So you could
I
use
think.
Yeah.
it around.
Yeah. Every time you
I can
activate
use it
something.
One
again?
per
Okay.
action.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll do it again. 18.
Again, you're able to easily dodge it. It looks like it's getting a little sluggish and bleeding out a little bit. Maybe not going to make it.
So since measurements aren't really
Mental
exact,
onslaught.
okay, just try
6.
to make the
6 is a
square
miss.
lines invisible.
It's a miss.
Yeah.
And just, you know,
So-
Get my
I
accident.
understand. We were here, Jack.
So what? The strange thing that happens, the read that you took earlier,
Immediate
The what?
distance.
you took a read of her,
Yeah.
right? You feel like and you're used to having mental connections with people. You tried to sever your mental connection with her. It appears that it didn't close all the way.
Black hole.
So when you try to do your mental onslaught, it seems like you still have a connection to her, which is again very unusual for you, right? Something strange is going on here.
This
Oh, it's me again?
Yeah.
is
Okay,
basically
Oh no no.
Oh, no, wait,
it's,
wait.
those two.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's-
It is. It's
That's turn.
right?
Yeah.
You guys.
So he dodged mental onslaught, broadsword.
Broadsword. 10,
That's a hit.
and then so for 5.
Okay.
that and Reese's pieces.
Is dodging my action?
No,
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 no.
that was on my turn. You dodged. So now
So
you
get to
have
attack.
you have the child in your arms,
I do.
the girl, Sarah's in your
Um,
arms.
Yeah, and there. I mean.
Is there any
good, but-
place close that looks safe that I can
Yeah.
stash her
So
for
as
now?
the Scootamorph gets
Everyone knows to
closer
run
and
away.
closer, you
That's an
definitely
action. So yes,
Okay.
you could try to run back
One
and
person
try to hide her or put her by a tree or
Okay,
something.
because I'm assuming it'd be
They're
really
holding
difficult to
on
punch
to
something
another
with
person.
a
Yeah,
kid, so
yeah.
That is kind
Alright,
of
I'm gonna
slumped.
duck
Disengage
out.
and run
just-
back. Okay.
This thing
Just for her.
moves.
I'll do that.
Okay, so round 3,
Around.
guy with the
And
spear.
as it gets about
Okay.
right here,
I'll try to
You
finish it
just
off
see
if I
the
can.
lady
All right.
jump off and kind of like
A 5.
pull this other person up.
Chink off
This
the
is
armor, no attack.
it's
It
almost
then tries to
adorable.
bite the guy with the broadsword, so a
You know,
defense save.
17, 18 years
Or would it
of
be?
age. And she's exactly. And she's pulling this guy who looks a little bit older.
20?
In his early
Miss.
20s.
Just complete. You were able to easily dodge out this way. You're predicting its movements at this point.
And
Very
at
capable.
that point in time, you know, you
I'm
see
scared
the
too.
mother and the pilgrims all
Zap it.
kind of peregrines
11?
all step back.
11,
like
9
they're
gets a hit,
little-
and it dies.
Yeah, as long as they're not right into
You're able to kill it. It just
Right hand in
it
their
goes weak and dies. The girl is still semi-conscious. The boy is like, "Oh my God, thank you so much. You need to go right away to help my
That's when he
family
grabs him.
and take my sister for healing. You have to take her immediately."
Come here.
Yeah.
And we're dragging
Climbing.
by the shirt to the nearest tree where I can talk to him.
Okay. So you have Patel by the shirt collar. He's very worried about his sister. He's concerned. He seems very concerned for her health and her
Does
general
this
well-being.
I'll yell for him or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
You can
do
see this person is clearly injured. There's
Yeah,
like you don't even
down.
need a check.
Right.
That, like squirting out of.
We
He
wait
has
for
this
Roy to get there so
huge
he can
gash right by where his arm.
Nobody
and
lives out
chest
where you're
kind of
at.
meet.
Why are you
You can
guys
actually
living
see
He looks like
the
he needs
muscles
medical
and the
attention.
tendons and stuff like that. It's
Come on,
it doesn't
suck it up for a second.
look slash.
Determined that he's not a
It actually
My-
looks like
you know, he
a
says,
giant
you know,
bite
my
was
father and mother
taken
and my
out.
grandfather just started a community there just last week or
And
2
she
months
goes,
ago,
"Can
a
you
fairly
do
new
anything?
community.
Please,
We've
this
just
is
started
my
farming the
brother.
area. We're
Please
brand new to the
help
region.
him."
We weren't expecting this.
And nobody else was out there. You guys went out there and got attacked.
The whole community was attacked. There's about 7 families.
There's so there's more.
They need help immediately. We need to send someone out there to protect them.
You did.
There's no need to wait. The attack came early this morning. We can still get there.
Okay.
We might get
Don't
there.
worry,
Depends on
man.
what you say.
Marzuki the Great and Powerful.
Take a breath. So you said
she
like
kind of
7
looks
families.
at you and is like
This thing
very
came and
grateful.
tore through your
Meanwhile, you bent
No, not
down.
this creature.
And
This
you-
creature we
not
wrote
this
the
thing.
cave.
No, your
And
whirly
you don't know
blades
why,
of
Correct.
scissors
you
and
were
death.
like,
A swarm
I'm
of them.
going to mend
Swarm.
you. All of a sudden,
And he's like,
this
Roy, is that
giant
like
shockwave goes through his body
No,
and he
it's like some
starts
kind of creature.
convulsing and he starts screaming in pain.
Was this thing
Iron Wind.
She
metal?
looks at you and goes,
No, it was like a see-through balloon flying thing.
you get 2 experience points.
Have I ever heard of such a thing in all my books?
And
You can
have
do
to
a roll?
give 1 away.
Touch her on the chest.
There you go.
I'm trained in Numenera, botany and identifying, which is also for Numenera thing. So I haven't. I don't know if identifying applies to that or not.
You know what?
Yeah,
I
let
just
me.
picked it off the list.
Because you can also spin them like bennies, right?
Yes.
It could be like
You can spend them to reroll.
Right.
like a monster. I don't know.
You see, because the jack, what I like about this guy is he has threat assessment.
Have a counter. There you go.
Thank you. Alright, so I'm gonna read you.
I feel empowered now.
Yes.
It's okay. It's okay. It's all in the plan. He's just working his
And
magic.
I'm gonna scan him this time.
she looks, she goes, what are you doing? Stop!
You used your
And now
shocking
he's
touch.
kind of coughing a little bit of blood.
I scanned him. Can I tell if anything's wrong with him? On a 7?
He looks hurt. That's what he looks like. He looks like, just like I said, like something took a bite out
Yeah,
of
these are actually fairly common. They're called paloons. They're like floating jellyfish kind of creatures. They
They're
they may have at one point been used on farming communities to help cut crops and stuff. They have kind of a blade-like appendage that spins on the bottom of them. They're usually not attacking communities. That's kind of weird, but they are hungry. They do eat.
So does this
So they're bioorganisms. They're common though throughout the region. Generally not considered much of a threat.
oh yeah, give me a roll.
That's a train assess danger.
I guess
Okay.
against a bunch of forest dwelling
Yeah, you're like he'll be fine.
nomads. I guess there might be
A flesh
dangerous.
wound.
So it's very strange that it's attacking.
Okay.
A swarm of them attacking a community would strike you as odd. Like maybe 1 or 2 of them might attack someone who was sleeping just because they were hungry or something like that. But usually, you don't see them too much in civilized areas. They're not found along the path. You've never actually seen one. You just heard rumors.
Okay.
They apparently used to be used in farming communities to
the
cut
blood
trees and
coming
stuff.
out of his mouth, you kind of fix
Well,
the damage
guess
you
the
had
force
done
won't be there for a
earlier.
while.
And,
After a while.
she's like, please tell me you're fixing him. Please.
You've heard of him?
Right
What's
on
he
the
talking about?
No, he's totally doing his work. Do I
And
need to
they're-
fly check?
Are they
If
we
so
go
you
slaughter
want
a
to try
bunch
to
of them?
No,
convince her
I'm gonna try
completely?
and just calm him down.
a little cash or
No.
are we talking? No.
Okay.
There's nothing.
This guy knows what he's doing.
Oh no, my
So
grandfather
both
would
of you are
reward
trying
you
to calm her
highly
down
if
so
you
she
were to
has
save the
people-
community.
So both
We've
of
invested
you
everything
roll.
we've had into this
See,
family
now
community.
we're talking. Okay.
Go,
So,
go ahead, roll.
Highly.
well,
We'll find out.
we'll find out. But
Sure.
so these things are.
Yeah,
So I
so
get a major
sure.
effect.
Then let's cut them in.
So-
But we have to get my
she
sister to a
started
medic
listening to
immediately.
you, but
One thing at a
yeah,
time, we're doing
exactly.
that.
She kind of turns.
Let's go.
She
and you're
began
like,
acting odd 3 days ago.
What do
and-
you
But
say?
that's where because he has her.
Ah, yes, yes, yes. So she's still semi-conscious. You're holding her. You get this strange mind-link experience that he does, right? She seems to move into your mind and start taking it over, and then some other force jumps in right on top of it and starts transmitting like rage, paranoia, chaos thoughts, old thoughts. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like this is not her at all. This is something that's channeling through her. It appears to be adversely affecting her. Keeping this connection alive is adversely affecting you.
hard to-
Yeah, something's very wrong with
And
her.
when she does that,
Is it just a skin-on-skin contact?
Yeah, that seems to be what electrifies it. Once you touch her, you get
Scream.
What it is.
kind of rogue power.
Normally,
You know?
mind control has to be
can I
very
take-
close range.
it is so
Yeah, true.
loud.
She's
You're-
conducting
it
something from far away
almost
that's
like,
very
you know,
weird.
like a,
Can I take
like
off my
a
robe?
loud
Yep.
noise
And wrap her
going
up
off
and then try to
right
hold
by
her-
your
Absolutely.
ears. It
That-
almost
right.
makes you
Yeah.
just
And she is muttering
Yeah.
and saying
Okay.
things. They just sounds like
kinda have
paranoid
to, like,
gibberish.
Okay, I'm gonna start looking
yourself
around for any
for a
kind of
second
healer,
after she touches
you know, any kind of medic.
Okay, absolutely. The campsite's still kind of coming back together. Some people are chopping off chunks of the creature. It looks like they're going to use it in a stew tonight. So you're definitely a food source. You guys are heroes, right? You're giving them stew for the month.
Say, hey, hold on, no, that's not free. That's not free. Hold it.
She is
One shit a slice.
so incredibly
One free
calm
slice.
right now.
You
Even
do
the
see
anguish in her face,
one of the
fear
Peregrines
that she
approach,
has for her brother
and you know he's
is
he's
just
clearly concerned, right? He senses something from her.
I mean,
he may be
it
gifted
is-
with the Beale as
it
well,
is
and he's like,
literally
you need to
like
take
you
her
just
immediately to the
lifted the
Cillian
world
Basin,
off her
where they have
shoulders.
healing waters and other healers that may be able to help her. It's only about a 3-hour walk, go back down the trail, and it's the nearest community from here.
I don't think we have time for that. We're gonna
They need some
go deal with
information
these.
about-
We could take the.
Is it on the
Balloons
way,
are-
or is it a different direction?
It's not really on the way. It's kind of one's up this way and one's down this way. So you're kind of in a triangle.
You're not
So if
sure
you went to the farm
scream
first, it
was
would be like a
from
4-hour walk down to the basin, and if you went to the basin first, you'd have to walk up
But
to the.
I could tell, like, it was obvious that nobody else heard it. Right?
Oh yeah, like it was so
Sir,
loud.
I'd
and
take
you
a
were
bird
It's
surrounded
3
with
o'clock now,
just,
so because
like,
we have an hour,
that thing
I'm going to
had
probably
nothing
railroad you a little bit. So
but
whichever
it
one
was
you pick,
ringing
you're probably
in
only going to
your
get to do
ears.
one. The adventure is designed to do both.
But when you looked immediately at her, like
I say a
you're
bird in the
pretty
hand
sure
is better.
it
So
wasn't
let's go
from her.
So she doesn't seem to
save the village.
Yeah. But like in
You
your
tell
almost
some locals.
thinking, is it
Okay, you guys take
coincidence?
that. You
It's
take
down
there.
We'll go.
Anybody
Okay.
with whatever horse is.
You know,
Several of the people that have, some of the like rookie peregrines seem very like when you tell them take the girl to the hot, they're like, yes, this is the mission we've been waiting for, and they seem really honored that you've chosen them, and they really do look up to you as heroes. Like you guys are and they take the mission very seriously, like almost as a spiritual direction, and they're like, yes, we will do this, we will accomplish this for you, we will take her to healing.
Oh, okay.
And the brother
Does
is
it
just
go up by
like,
2?
hurry, like he's just let's get this going, right?
How many shins did we get off of the beast?
The people who run the camp will give you 5 shin for the creature if they can use it in their stew.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
And none of you are trained in like biological Numenera or anything like that, where you
Okay.
might know.
Not botany, but not biological.
No.
I don't know if identifying this. I don't know what that is.
Ah, spend the experience.
Give me a roll, and if you roll very well.
Oh, there you go. So at
16.
first, what
16
you
as well.
started
You know that
working
those
on
glands that were exuding
was
that sticky
actually
material
you were
can be
worried about
used
that blood
as
coming
a
out of
as
his
a
mouth still, and you're
you can
like,
throw them
what
and
am I
they'll
doing?
explode
He just
into
bit
like a
his
sticky
tongue
mess of
because I
webbing.
shot him. That's
So
all.
there is use
And
for
you
this
start
creature.
working
They usually
on
have
this
4 to
big
8 on each
giant,
mandible.
like,
Okay, I tell them hold on to those
gash
glands
in
for us.
his
We'll be
Okay.
back.
So
We'll be back.
and
very
and
nice.
several of them appeared to know what they were as well.
Do you want to kind of match it or nano it or how?
So you guys,
Bunch of glands.
your vision is now to go to the woods.
Right.
The boy draws you a quick map you go here, you come up to the bluff where you can see the whole forest. You can see the whole forest from the top of this bluff. And then from the top of the bluff, you just kind of want to go down into the right. And we're about 20 minutes in on the forest on the right-hand side. You have no problem seeing it. From the bluff, you can probably see it.
All right, let's go. Let's go to the bluff.
All right, so you guys start hiking along, and it's simple hike. You guys don't hear
definitely see
anything,
some
no
muscle
encounters.
just
Everything's
repairing
simple. You come across this little bluff that overlooks this forest, and it's a very unusual forest, right?
The sister kind of looks
There
at
are
you, she's
trees in the ninth world around water sources and stuff like that, but along
I-
rivers. There's no rivers or water source here. You're in the high desert. The forest is very shaped, like kind of square. Not exactly perfectly square, but it definitely looks like it's and the green is unlike any other green you've ever seen before. It's a very kind of combat green, military green. Trees usually are a much lighter color, particularly in the desert. Like greens and yellows and those kinds of stuff. This is almost a uniform, solid color. The tree trunks look unusual from where you are as well, but you can't really tell why. The trees are pretty tall, maybe 10 meters tall, and the trunks look very broad.
Those unusual trees.
Before, and you see the Peregrine.
You've never when the boy described a forest, you were not expecting this. This does not look. It's called the false forest, and you're starting to get a sense that perhaps it's not really a forest. You're not sure, and putting a farming community in here is starting to sound a little unusual as well.
Yes. And as
Adventurers.
starts,
Grinding XP.
All right, so as you hike down and you get closer to the trees, you realize that these are not actually trees. That these are large, clear tubes made of maybe glass or a very solid plastic, and these scuttlemorphs are wrapped around each tree trunk. And some of these scuttlemorphs are ginormous, 5 to 6 times bigger than the one you just fought. And they'll go up, wrapping tightly around it, up 15 meters high, right? The tree, the green of the tree that you saw before, isn't tree. It appears to be a netting that's across the top of all of these tubes, connecting all of them together. There's clear tubes in the netting as well. Most of it appears to be structural, but appears that maybe something was being moved from tree to tree or up somehow connected. At the base, as you get closer, there's display panels set in the earth. Several of them are blinking. They're kind of aligned with the trees. So in each row there'll be a strange-looking device, kind of embedded in the earth, sunk in a little bit.
So
Nobody touched
she
me.
looks at you and she goes, "My brother's
Alright,
at
so one of the
so
displays.
I just
Look
touched
at
it
the
and
display.
Yeah, we'll look at one of those.
I felt I needed
see
to
what-
get on."
Okay, so we need an intelligence roll. Anyone that's got
Both of those.
And it's just
like-
There you go.
20. Oh, okay. So this is a monitoring station, and this may be the central monitoring station that you happen to have found with your roll of a 20, right? From this monitoring station, it's clearly monitoring the health of this entire field, which appears to be some kind of solar transponder. A lot of the machinery is under the earth. You can't actually see it. These tubes are more like ventilation shafts than anything else. All connected through a ginormous machine that's buried underneath the ground. And you see an area on the central monitor that appears to be damaged. Like a red flashing blip. Right, the rest of it's all green. The red flashing blip is coming from where the community was described to you, which is maybe 2 clicks over. You're very close to the community. You could be there in minutes. The rest of the grid looks perfectly fine. However, like when you start looking through like the history log and that kind of stuff, there have been unidentified storm bursts for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Before that, the logs are clean. There have never been any environmental thing. The logs go back hundreds of years. But recently, there are these tremendous short spikes of unidentified storm systems that have rolled through the field.
Yeah, she kind of. You can see her thinking about it. Like,
It's
am
big
I
enough to
gonna
have its own
need it?
ecosystem, you say?
It's monitoring the ecosystem of the forest.
But she walks
So when the
over
storms
and
roll through, and going back, you'll see
Okay.
times of drought, rain seasons. There's these kinds of curves. But
So it's
then,
the area environment.
walking
Yeah,
over
yeah,
and
it's-
going,
It's not big
she's
enough that it's
looking
got
at
its
you.
own-
it's not creating an ecosystem. It's not generating oxygen or anything like that. But this is monitoring the health of this system. This system monitors external temperature and rainfall and that kind of stuff, which appears very consistent through the years. Recently, there have been these giant bursts of, and generally, if there's like a thunderstorm, it'll be labeled, and the storm is well identified. These have been unknown bursts of energy.
Okay.
Maybe we should go check out the red dot.
Okay. you move through the woods pretty. You're staying very clear of the trees, I assume.
Right.
Kind of staying in the middle of the lanes.
Any noises or?
Give me a perception check.
Part of it, or are they just
No, they're feeding off like
14.
14. Whatever
Yes.
energy is
You're-
coming out
you're
of there.
Good in nature. You understand this environment.
And
You
you're
do
not-
not detect any unusual creatures or any other
and it
movements in
kind
the
of
area.
sits in that.
Those
like a-
you
like
do
almost
hear
like a
every once in a while
snake.
like a whirring go
And
over the
that
top of you, like a
goes
buzzing sound.
like,
It's
what are you gonna do?
a bird, maybe something flying overhead.
And she's like, I
Okay, so
she doesn't. know
Aldea is
whether
the name
to
of this
move
community. As
forward
you start
or
to
whether
roll into
back
Aldea,
up
you
now.
notice that there are these strange triangular tents. There's a giant hole in the netting, so sunlight is coming through. And there are these tents, maybe 8 tents, but they're fairly large tents. And there's a group of people milling about, and they appear to have spears and stuff, and they're moving as if to attack you or something. They're charging
So she
around in the
steps
campfire.
forward,
I look behind us and see if there's something they may.
There's nothing behind you.
and it does kind of go down when she
I
steps
can 50
forward,
feet
but
away.
it's
They look terrified. It looks like something horrible's going on. There's damage to one of the tents, significant damage.
and she kind of pets it.
The two trees closest to the area, one of them is kind of damaged. Neither of them have scuttlemorphs wrapped around them. Also, there are some other scuttlemorphs kind of moving away from the area slowly. But there's definitely creature movement. You can see giant tracks, these footprints, hundreds of footprints through the dirt. As you approach, you can hear things moving in the woods around you, but you don't really see anything except for these settlers running around in this farm area.
Why shout out to Sarah and a little boy belong to you?
A woman in the campground turns to you. Did they reach safety?
Yeah, we saved them.
Oh, thank goodness! You must help us defend ourselves against these horrible creatures.
Alright, let's just spread the love around.
The forest of them?
Well,
Yeah, as you're talking, you don't see anything attacking them, but all of a sudden you see them outbreak. They're jabbing with spears at something you guys can't really see it.
yeah, he describes what the intrusion is.
You know,
and
he's
then,
what are you
get
fighting?
one
What are you
because
fighting?
it's intruding on you,
These
and
giant
then
disc creatures
otherwise,
descended and just tried to slaughter us this morning. We've never seen anything like it.
So,
But
Blue
like with the ones
starts
poking
scanning,
now?
Yeah.
and all
Do they see something?
3 of you,
Give me a
all
perception
you
check.
see is he falls
Which is an
to his
int roll.
knees. You didn't even know he was really scanning. He looked like he was
13.
concentrating on something.
It does look like there's some kind of flying clear thing, like a disc, zooming through the air over their heads, swooping by and swooping up.
So
Is that the same noise that we were
Yeah,
hearing earlier?
that may be, you kind of look there, and there may be 3 or 4 of them kind of buzzing around in the area. These people don't look like they're great fighters, though. They're having trouble tracking
And
them.
there's actually,
Did you guys see that?
blood starting to come out of
How
his
high up
ear.
does it
Not
so-
cerebral
can we guess
fluid,
how high?
thankfully,
The-
but
the-
it's blood.
So the
coming out of
scuttlemorphs
his
go
ear.
maybe 10 to 15 meters up, and then the netting is there.
Uh-huh.
And so these things are swooping down
Okay.
inside, and they're staying
You just start to vomit.
3 meters over the ground maybe, and then maybe swooping down and trying to get something or smash into something, and then going back up. But they're overhead by about 3 meters
Okay.
most of the time, or by
So
about a meter and a
painful
half
going
most of
over.
the time.
Pull him on his side, maybe he doesn't choke on his
I get that detonation web.
Oh,
When you touch him, say something.
What are they doing to
Just
you?
say something to him.
They're attacking us. They're cutting us. She shows you a horrible wound on her arm. My son was almost killed. My daughter went crazy and somehow controlled one of the scuttlemorphs and rode to safety.
Does your daughter
You
have
hear
a
that?
history of...
No, as they like
Your dad used to say that to
You
you
guys know how to kill these?
every day.
Because
We
just
know what it
really
looks
For whatever reason, you were this really scared
Is there a
kid.
place
That's not-
we can stay safely while
Your
we try
dad
to
used to
handle
always
this?
be like, "Hey, you're not gonna die."
We're afraid to evacuate because the scuttlemorphs are running around in the woods. Generally, they don't
Can they get
move.
inside?
Was your
Go
dad's
in your,
voice
go in your tent.
No, they can go in the
Yeah,
tents.
go in your
not
tent.
Yeah.
his
Just
voice.
get in your tent so you're not
Did
in our
I-
way.
Did I see anything in that control center that activated any kind of defense mechanism?
Yes. That's what
No,
happens.
not really a defense. There's repairs going on, automated repair systems, but you didn't see any controls for the automated repair. It didn't seem to be managed from there.
Well, sure.
sorry, son.
No.
Just shouting out. Get in your tents. Just get in your tents.
All right, they start moving into their tents.
You know, the Scootamorph.
So when we're kind of huddled up,
leaves,
Yeah.
what's your plan?
and now
I don't
everyone
know
is
what they look like
focused
or what
on
they-
both of you,
Yeah,
the brother
that's-
and you.
We're
They're
having
like,
trouble
what
just
the heck?
watching
And
them.
the old lady,
Let's see if we can
she's
get
just
one to
babbling.
come
She's
down,
like, I
or-
totally
Oh,
see
beta?
one.
Alright, hang on. I'll get one beta.
Well,
So she just keeps
Well,
saying it over
I can.
and over.
If they get
and-
within 50 feet, I can nail one of them.
Oh, they're within. I mean, they're probably easily swooping around at 50 feet. You could definitely.
Don't worry, it's
So I'll
just a
try to
delayed
shoot
reaction from
nail one of
Are
them.
they really hard to track? Like,
Is
just
that
to
what
get a
you're
beat on
telling
him?
everyone?
No, I mean, yeah, not really hard to track. Hard to track, but not really hard to
Okay.
track. I mean, part of the problem is
and
these are
no
clear
one
tubes. They
believes
fly in front of the key. It's clear tube. It's kind of
Everyone
dark in
thinks you're,
here.
like,
There's light
cursed
coming in through the
now or
tire, but
something.
most of the camp is.
Are we worried about missing and hitting like one of the big set of pieces?
So
You definitely don't want to piss one of those creatures off.
Yeah.
Activated his little black hole device.
what? Oh, the Scudamore. Yeah,
Scudamore.
So my
But,
plan is to
you know,
onslaught one of them
Syria
Right.
and Patel,
and then run behind him.
everyone starts to calm down. After,
Okay.
No,
Let
and
me-
then when they do that, when it's coming after him, if he can't get it, I'm going
You guys are sitting
let's say
back around
ping
the
pong
camp,
here.
and
He
the
gets one's
Peregrines
attention and it comes
start
towards
packing.
him.
Right.
I'm
And
going to
they're
sneak around to the
pointing
back.
at the sky.
So if this thing, if it's
And this time, even
kicking his
though
ass,
it's,
I have an attractor.
it's
I'll
now
yank
the
it right
sun
back
is
off.
up,
Gotcha,
and
gotcha,
the
gotcha.
heat, you know,
I mean,
you're kind of in the
But before we
shade
start this
area
fight,
where
I'm going
the
to talk to
shade
Scott.
is coming
Can
from
do you guys have time to play after 4, or does everyone else have to
depending
break
on
at
the
4?
sun's angle.
Okay, because
You're
I'm going to leave
sitting
at 4, and I need to take
You can
Jack with me.
see
So I'm going to try to coordinate with Scott so that we can
those
end this
stars
encounter, and
still,
then I
but
can
it's
hand you off to his
all
table,
hued
and then me and Jack
and
can leave, just so we
warped.
guys keep the adventure going. Does that make sense?
And
Yeah, 'cause
they're
I can go a
starting
little bit
to
after
pack
that.
up.
Let me talk to him real
They're
quick
saying,
and get some pizza.
we're going to listen to the mother and leave. There are too many things. What?
Maybe you can't say.
Well, because I'm going to end up
Okay.
maybe we could try to combine tables
Okay.
in about 45 minutes or so.
Yeah, we can try
Does
that.
anybody have any ciphers? that we can use
We're
for the
just
fight?
about to head.
Well, that's what I'd be
and then
using is
the
that
one
tractor.
right
So if
after
you're going
that
to get
is-
mauled,
Sure.
yank it right
There
back
you go. I
off.
got that sticky web stuff.
You're-
so-
Right, so we have to net
Okay,
it down.
So I'm going to break after
Okay.
we finish that encounter, and then they can join you guys.
Yeah, that's
But I don't
fine.
want to trap. I
That's
don't
fine.
know. Is there friendly fire on the web? Like I wouldn't want to get you guys too.
I was going to sneak around far enough to yank it back.
No, we have to leave at 4.
I can do onslaught too.
Oh, come on, Jack knows his schedule.
Long full screen needs to be in.
So, as you guys are sitting around, like I said, these peregrines are packing up. They're getting out of here.
Okay, so
do you have
describe
any
your
last
plan again.
questions for them? You're kind of sitting
He's
around.
gonna onslaught
thinking,
one.
like,
Onslaught, double
So
onslaught.
both songs are going to be onslaughting. Maybe I'm talking the same one.
Yeah.
And then
He's going to be standing out in front of them.
So
As
you'll
it comes
want
down
to
to
follow
hit
the
him. If he
peregrines.
can't kill it, if he looks like he's losing, I've snuck around at the backside and I'm going to yank it back off with the cipher.
Sounds good.
And then he'll hit it with a web if we need.
Yeah,
Why are you asking?
I'll have shield and sword out.
Or was that him?
Oh, that's it, yeah.
All right, let's roll initiative.
three.
Jack,
13?
any questions for the peregrines as they pack up?
So I'm
and are
sneaking
about
back
to leave?
around
You're sneaking back around.
to get in position.
Okay, and you've made yourself a target.
Any
Yeah.
questions for the
So one of
peregrines?
these-
Are you going to follow them?
You guys had heard them described more as balls with blades. They look more like discs with a spinning edge of death. Right, they're a lot more intimidating than you guys. You guys had heard balloon, so you'd envision this kind of like, oh, friendly little thing. No, these are like
Frisbees.
murderous UFOs, is what you're basically fighting, and they're very hard to see. They're very clear.
Her and her brother
So make a
are
deck
going
save.
to try to make it.
Yeah,
Okay.
one is swinging down to attack you.
Okay, so I will have the shield out this time.
Okay.
So it'll, and then I
It's
won't
called
do
the
edge. So could I do both
Allalay.
of those?
And it has,
So the shield acts as armor, right?
It's an asset.
like a hot
It's an
spring
asset
there
for speed defense.
that has
Oh.
healing.
So that makes
It
his
has healing.
his
She thinks
step
that her brother
one his
might
his difficulty
if
one
he
step
gets in
lower.
there,
One
he'll be
complete step lower.
I think it's
Okay.
one step lower.
Wow. Okay.
And then could I do the speed edge to do that again?
Yes.
So 2 steps.
Yeah, and it cannot hit you.
Okay.
So it grinds against your shield trying to get at
kind of
you.
in this section of
You're in
the brick
position
wall that
to run
looks
in and
like
try to
that.
smack it
They're
if you'd
gonna
like.
be
It's
heading
holding
out to
still,
the west.
grinding
So if
against his
it's holding
shield.
still and he's safe,
Peregrine-
Yeah.
then yeah, then I don't need to do
are
the
gonna be
tracker, so I
heading
come
to
in
False
behind
Wood
with
and
the
the hamlet
broadsword
right beyond that.
I think we should.
and try to lay through it. 15
A 15 is a hit.
for 5.
5 points of damage. It takes.
You never know.
Yeah.
These sort of.
So it has
local
armor,
legends,
so it takes that
sometimes
from your
they're
5, so it
happy,
takes that.
sometimes there's-
You get a direct hit on it. It appears to have like a chitinous shell or some kind of
So
hard,
fountain,
clear shell.
spring-
Bam! You hit it, but it's
spring-
armor, so it doesn't take full damage. But you did get a good smack. It's still grinding against your shield if you'd like to try to.
Okay, yeah. Could I reach around with like a broadsword?
Absolutely,
A normal
absolutely.
person would go with the peregrines and go safe.
14.
Easy hit, easy hit.
Okay, so that'll be 4.
4 points of damage, and it dies.
Okay.
Oh wait. 4 points. Yes, it dies. No. 4 points of damage. It lives, but it's very close to dead. You knock it down
You
and
guys,
it.
you know, the Peregrine.
So it's done.
See you off.
There appear to be 4 of these things swarming around the campground.
So I'll try to finish off the one that's on.
Okay, so focusing fire on that one.
15.
Easy hit,
2 points.
and it doesn't get to use damage. It dies. No armor.
I'll get another one.
Okay, so you're just gonna pick one of the ones that's flying around.
Yeah, and she.
A 10 is a hit.
All right, so that's 2.
2 points of damage.
No armor. Yeah.
Kind of leaves.
Okay. You win. You win. So it's my turn. So let's see. Let's have all of them attack.
And in that
So they're incoming.
I need a
right?
D4. D4 would be the
DCL's
best.
incoming.
now you guys.
Thank you. Okay, so one will attack you.
Okay.
A second will attack you, and a third will attack
Well,
you.
there's nothing.
Okay, so they can't hit you.
There's
So
desert.
they're grinding up against you because they have a 0.
The Scootermorph is gone.
6.
She sent it
6.
away.
Any defenses?
Yeah. So.
Oh, I've got
you
that.
guys are just kind of
I've got
like,
the ward, so it gives me
we got
plus
a wall,
1.
and we
Is that
have
just armor
someone
though?
that's
Yeah,
walking
wait,
literally.
Or is it defense?
half the rate.
Plus
It's
1
like
armor.
scrub desert, like so there's some like bushes and trees.
So it grinds into your form and starts cutting you
yeah,
badly.
yeah.
You take 4 points of damage.
We could make
Minus
like
armor, right?
a
Is
litter
that how it
drag.
works? So
Yeah, minus armor, so 3.
Jack the drag.
Absolutely. If you wanted to make something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that goes off of your might.
oh, might.
We lose
Okay.
3
Probably
might.
not. I really don't.
And that's, we lose them when we spend our ones that have a cost. Like,
Yeah.
when I'm thrusted, that's
We're
what
old men.
Okay, 2 attacking you, 1 attacking you.
Use the cannon part of the
Your turn? You all go now, right?
My king,
Okay.
has, my king has a big golden fist on top of it.
What's the range on the sticky web? The detonation web? It's I got it. Immediate radius. So
But
does
what
does
is
it hit
its-
other PCs?
So-
Okay, so never
You
mind.
guys,
I want to
you
sticky
know,
you guys.
you travel.
I'll just stab it then.
Okay.
Assyria and Patel.
So
The same one that he
8
hit?
hours straight.
bail on,
And
yeah.
you
we
keep
went
asking
hit.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Where
have
is
a new
this
one. So is
place?
the one that
Because you
Oh, yeah,
have
I guess it's still attacking him.
Okay, so
So these are 2 fresh ones.
2 fresh ones. I get a 4.
A 4's a miss.
Okay.
We never,
And
we
then
never
I
stopped being
go,
lost.
whatever's on him,
Okay, and that one's been hit.
And
14.
you know,
14's a hit.
she assures you.
So for 5
that
minus
if
his
you
armor is
can't hear,
that, so
you'll
he's
be
at
there
that, so he's still alive
pretty
with badly
much
damaged.
next.
Again.
I'll try to tap the one on him.
Onslaught on him.
Yes, you're gonna wake up and you're going to
Hit. And you killed it.
But you do.
There's still 2
You
more,
know,
right?
Yeah, on me.
you're-
Alright, I'll try to onslaught one of those.
There is, and as night starts to
Or
set,
8,
it gets
9 is a hit.
bigger and
9, yeah.
brighter. But it's
So for
you're almost
2,
wondering,
sorry.
is this
Like-
the light? The
Okay, yeah,
great
it's
lights
damaged.
that
You
they
got
were
it good.
talking about? It doesn't-
These things are swarming around, and they recognize it. For some reason, they start abandoning you and start going
It's
towards other
nothing
targets, right? Because that's just not working out.
Sure.
One moves back to you.
Orbiting lens.
It's a loaded die.
So they all swarm around and they have the same targets.
Action.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
do
like
it.
the magnifying glass
Okay.
If you
across
want.
the desert.
If you get hit again, maybe you want.
So are you guys doing what?
So 2 miss you, 1 attacks you.
Okay.
Okay, order,
I rolled a 14.
Exactly.
It misses.
Okay.
order.
Your attack.
Okay.
I'm kind of old man.
I'll just stab it again. So.
Am I breaking initiative? You're just going like that, right? That's fine.
Was there one on me that was slightly damaged?
There's 2 on you,
Your 2 hours.
and 1 is damaged.
Okay, I'll go for the damage.
Just gonna adjust how
And I'll spend a might edge to, because it's a might, right? To stab it? To use a sword or
And
no?
since you are sleeping,
It's,
If you use your using effort or using your might,
what would be the difference?
effort will reduce it by 1 step.
I
Okay.
thought Edge does that.
Oh, that's right. You don't automatically.
No, edge reduces the cost of the power.
Cost,
that's
yeah.
all you
So if you've got a
Okay.
power that
Well,
costs
I had-
2 might and you use your edge, it only costs 1 might.
Okay.
So do you have any striking powers?
I have a bash power.
Okay.
if I were to use
So it'd be
these
negative
two,
1 damage, but then it'd be dazed for a round.
Okay.
Technically,
My
during
other
that
one is
whole day,
you do a
we
natural
got
attack
both
that
a
does
1 action rest,
immediate
10
damage,
rest,
but
and
that's
1 hour rest, and
So if you wanted to daze one, you could try that.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay,
Let's try
absolutely.
it. Try the system. Okay, so it costs 1 might point, so if I do the edge, it would
Cost 0.
Yes.
That's right.
I spend
Sorry, so these negative if it hits.
Oh, really?
It hits.
But not.
Does 18 do anything?
Oh, 18, yeah, 18 does plus 2 damage.
Okay, so the
But then minus 1.
so 5.
5.
5 damage.
And it dies.
Okay.
So you've killed that one. That means there's one left.
It's something like
Okay.
It's attacking him.
Once you get,
It's
like,
your
4
turn.
experience points and you decide to spend them.
Yeah, I'll do the same thing.
That's when your
Oh
healing
no, heal.
resets.
Okay.
How does that work?
Well,
Almost
you
like
got
a
you,
harder
you,
mode
you
or
get
something
you can
like
do it
that, or
for
maybe
free out of combat,
healing
Okay.
more at
or
your
spend
discretion.
during combat. You can
But anyways,
in any
sure
case,
enough, you
you roll a
guys,
d6
it's a
plus
very
1
calm night. You
and add that
you wake
to
up, you're like,
the mic.
I'll help him.
Restore the mic.
let's get
He's getting attacked.
It is incredibly
17.
hot.
Oh, a 17
Temperatures
easily
too.
hits it. Do 2 more points of
You
damage.
guys were
It's wounded.
is
both
probably
attacked.
15 degrees
But-
hot.
We were like 19.
Oh, that hits and that does 3 plus 3 damage, and you get a minor effect. So you can describe to me what your minor effect is.
Well, see, as he comes to this one, he wants to spin it on edge so it beats into the dirt and peg it.
Really?
Yeah, it's
How much damage?
lots more.
5.
5 points of damage minus his armor is...
Wait, that was 5 plus your additional 3,
Oh,
right?
plus 3, because you rolled an 18. It dies. You smash it into the ground, it grinds in about an hour, it seems to hit a rock, and just like goo comes spraying out of the thing. So you guys have slaughtered the whole... I mean, they're all gone. The people are still hiding in their tents. They're terrified.
There's like an alien. It's just like
Out of game, right? I want to transfer you guys over to Scott's table now. We have some time to go, but he's in the same encounter. They're just going to start the encounter you guys just finished. So I don't know how we want to do this. Maybe you guys are in the camp when they show up.
We're probably gonna go.
So you're gonna.
It'll be a little easier on the table. We got some stuff.
Okay.
Over here.
Yeah, because I'll be.
So Scotty,
I can go either way. I can go across and get my hair cut.
I'll be walking next to
Scott,
Syria, chatting around.
Scotty, where are you?
What?
Where are you?
Rolling into town.
Which town?
Not Falsewood Town.
Okay.
We're going to the healing baths.
Right. So they're going to jump in on your table. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on over.
So basically, you clear those things out and then decide to go help the girl and take her to the healing spring. So you grab her and run to the healing spring.
Yeah, I know.
That's where they are now.
Is that your dice bag down there?
I think it's Jack's.
Sorry.
Thank
sorry.
you.
No, I'm not saying that. They're like, they're obviously doing something.
You got
Thanks
Sorry
a
that I
lot.
had to break it
No,
down.
it's fine.
That's great.
I hope to do this again, but I want to play some more of
Might
this.
as well.
Are you guys going to con or
And-
anything like
and-
that?
I think
I'm
we're
gonna go a
for a
day.
You know, when I said
And I got
it,
Kelsey Fullerton.
you would walk
close
through.
friends.
Yeah, they do stuff on Wednesdays for D&D.
Wednesday night we do
You're
encounters, which is
not to walk
it's
towards
pretty
them.
beginner level stuff, but it's fun. It's a good group.
Okay. Are there any other RPGs that are played here?
Every Thursday, there's a different RPG played.
Okay.
I think Twan may have a schedule of what they're playing, but they'll play like Savage Worlds on the first two Thursdays.
Okay.
Different.
Is it sort of like open where you can just show up?
Yeah, usually it's open. They have pre-gens. They've got a long-running Star Wars campaign going. It's been going for a little while, so you can play that.
second edition?
So it's good.
I don't think I've ever.
Let me get your guys' email address.
Your characters are alive by the skin
I've
of
seen
their teeth every time they say
I don't know why. Whenever I pull I'm like, oh, here's the giant. It's gonna fight you. It's like 7, 3, 6.
If I succeed.
This thing, these guys love to fight every time they fight. It's
So,
okay corral style.
You
So
guys
it's just
start
blazing.
rolling into town in the
It's not my fault that they suck that avoid shooting pistols.
Oh, Scott's using minis too, man. So you guys got to get some minis going.
Are we going to? I have my
No, you can
logs
keep
of,
playing. We have
Oh,
45
here's your
minutes,
guy.
but we were just in a good spot.
I have the real Kickstarter.
Yeah.
This will be on this table, right?
Yeah.
Are you gonna be able to move your Mac or your?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Were you this one or?
These two are the.
Oh, okay. This guy's a little better. All right. That's the yeah. That looks like the Holy Rizzuti.
So as you guys
you
start.
use your laptop.
Nobody knows how to say my name.
Paul, do you want to sit on this side of the table so that he can move his laptop over?
As you
That's how
guys.
religion starts.
The first
Right. Yeah, it does. That or your right thing.
Yeah, it's the Tibbus versus the Calebs.
I hope to run this again at Colin.
So
And I'm
as
probably
you
going to run
guys
what's
start
for my son's
strolling
gaming
into
group, so I'll have a
town.
better understanding of the system. And then
I'll
probably
wait
make
for
some
them
free
things.
chats.
They're just
And run a game at Colin.
They're strolling into town at the same
They're
time.
little bit more
strolling
planning.
into town at the same time you are.
They also have a brother and sister.
Yes, they have a brother and sister with them somehow.
That was cool. I mean,
And when we get close enough, they just kind of
I think the rules are really interesting.
Join us on our trip.
The world's so different. It's kind of hard for me to wrap my mind around it, or I mean, just from one game. But it's definitely unique.
the
what is-
website,
oh, is this-
Numenera.com, has great information.
Okay.
And Monte Cook is like
Yeah,
creativity. It's a really cool.
Did you make this or did you buy it?
It's a blanket.
That's still on there as well. Oh, it's a feeling. That's where I would be like that.
My favorite is Pride.
Oh, correct.
I'm trying to hit them in the Pride.